I want to talk about Spyro and Crash and why we will not see them in 2025 or 2026. And in fact, it might be a lot longer than a lot of people would like to admit. And I'm going to go through the rationale of why I believe that is to be the case. I am not here to provide hopium or copium or some kind of, oh, the series is dead under Xbox, like it wasn't dead under ABK. I'm here to give stuff based on the evidence we have at hand and how the video game industry works and how it more than likely will apply to Spyro and Crash. So fans can get a general idea, because using statements such as, well, it's this anniversary date for this game, so we should get a Spyro and Crash, right? No, that's not how the video game industry works. I remember doing that. Don't worry. You're not the only one who used to think that way. I used to think that way about, around 2015 to 2010, somewhere around that time frame. I was like, oh, this will be the X year of Golden Sun. New game? Nah. We're in 2025, and we still have not got a new game of Golden Sun. So, yeah, I've been there. Now, under ABK, more specifically Bobby Kotick, Spyro and Crash was not being worked on up until the announcement of the acquisition and through the whole process of the acquisition. They were on Call of Duty, meaning we were not going to see a new Spyro game for a long time under Bobby Kotick's control. They announced the acquisition in 2022 due to regulators dragging it out more than it needed to be. It did not get actually pushed through until October 2023. So because of that, it took a lot longer for Xbox to gain control, and it could have been done sooner. We could have already had more progress on a Crash or Spyro game, but it took too long. It took like a year and a half, if I remember correctly. Now, Toys for Bob, which is the company or studio that worked on the Spyro and Crash games, they kind of split from Xbox, although they partnered up with them and are apparently working on a game for Xbox, and people have been hinting that it's actually Spyro 4. I haven't had any, there's no confirmation one way or the other of whether that's the case or not. For this instance, I'll use it as, okay, they are working on it, but if they're not working on it, then we might be waiting even longer for a Spyro and Crash game. So, yeah. So, that happened in 2024. The average dev cycle is 4 to 5 years, with some actually pushing it more to 5 to 7 years. So, I'm going to use both of those instances for the example here, and that is 4 to 5 years from 2024. That's 2028, 2029 for a release window. Xbox likes to do announcements for games now about a year before they come out. A year or less. So if their release window is 2028, 2029, then we might see something in 2027, 2028 for a, in the lead up to the game coming out. Now, if it's 5 to 7 years, that's 2029 to 2031 for a release window. We're in 2025, people. We probably will not see a Spyro and Crash game for about another 5 years, give or take. So take whatever age you are now, add 5 years, and that'll probably be around the time that you will see another Spyro and Crash game. Honestly, it's gotten to the point where I kind of hope they do a Spyro and Crash Maker just done really well. So that way the fans can continue to make content for the game themselves. Imagine being able to make your own Spyro 1 game, or Spyro 2 and 3 game with mini games, or a Crash 1 type style game, or a Crash 2, 3, or 4 style game. And being able to choose between the hub worlds and the overworld, in Crash, or the Spyro games having, heck, they could even do that for Banjo-Kazooie. The Banjo-Kazooie series. I would rather have that than a new game at this point, because honestly, I just want to play more Spyro and Crash games. and Banjo games. But I just don't see them actually, I just don't see a new one of these games coming out for a long time. And after the game comes out, let's just say Spyro does come out in 2028, let's just say. If the cycle is about 4 or 5 years, then that means the next time we would see a Crash game would be 2032 to 2033. That's assuming they're not developing the game simultaneously and they can alternate. Because then you could have, a Spyro game, released, let's say, in 2028, a Crash game in 2030, then a Spyro game in 2032, and then a Crash game. Basically every 2 years you're getting a Spyro or Crash game. If something like that were to occur, I would be happy, but I'm not sure they're actually going to go through the whole process of developing a cycle like that, developing a team to simultaneously work on it. And that's as a Crash or Spyro fan, I don't like. So, yeah, the way I see it, hopefully they find a system that can produce them a little bit quicker. I honestly, at this point, if you're a platforming franchise that's by a big IP that's not Nintendo, and you're not going to consistently work on the series and continuously provide new content, just give us a Spyro or Crash or a Maker game for the... honestly, I would be happy with a Spyro, Crash, what do they call it? Banjo, a Donkey Kong Maker. Oh no, Donkey Kong does get new games. I was thinking of more of the Donkey Kong 64 style one, but a Mega Man X Maker maybe. What other platforming style games would I like? Heck, Konami could do a Castlevania, Metroidvania style Maker. I'd be happy with that. Imagine looking at all the assets they have for the older Castlevania games, from Symphony of Night all the way up to the Nintendo DS era. Give us a Maker style one like that. I would be happy with that. So yeah, just give me Maker games of these games you don't want to work on anymore, that are easy to do, like the platforming ones, and I would rather have that than a new game, just because the fans themselves, it would be easier enough for them to be able to make the content for other fans. At this point, I'm more hopeful for a Spyro and Crash decompilation of their games, and then having it made into a PC port, and then hopefully it's easier for modders to make content for that, and we just get some more fan projects that way. Because honestly, I think it's going to be a while before we consistently, if ever, get consistent Spyro and Crash games coming out, which is a bit unfortunate in my opinion. That's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.